when a church or a synagogue or some other religious structure is involved with a sale or transfer, title searches can be tricky, and there's some complexity that goes with those. This is Dave at titlesearch.com. We're just working on a pretty major search for a church property, happened to be in New Jersey, and in this case there was a question of the actual ownership, where the church property was owned by the diocese or the overseer of that church's geographic area, but there was a conflict between if the church itself owned it or if the members of the church owned that particular building. In this case, there was a council, a board of directors, you might say, for the church that were saying that their location was owned individually. It was owned by their own congregation. But the church, the national branch of that church, said that no, this is owned as a kind of like a franchise. And the title records were kind of vague, where it was transferred to a name that appeared to be that church's name, but it was similar to the diocese. So by looking at the title records and running a good search, going back in the history of seeing who signed the deed as the grantor, who was the grantee, what were the identities of that grantee, and how was it known at the time? What was that corporate entity or that 501c at the time? Made it very clear that the church was owned locally. It wasn't the national diocese that owned that particular location. It was the local branch of the church. Actually, the church elders collectively owned it. So doing a title search on a church or other type of religious structure, it's important to get a good search, make sure that the documents are reviewed well so that you know how the transfer was made and who it was intended to transfer that property to. If you have more questions about running a title search on any kind of commercial property, you can reach us at our website at titlesearch.com.